Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Education to order. Mr. Schimpf, can you please call the roll?
Dr. Braddock.
Here.
Ms. Sherfain.
Here.
Ms. Cummings.
Here.
Ms. Manzano.
Here.
Ms. Palmer.
Here.
Ms. Stern.
Here.
Ms. Winters.
Here. Thank you. Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given by the Board Secretary on June 18, 2026 in the following manner. Posted notice on the school bulletin board at the administration building, posted on the board's official website, and transmitted to the clerk of Cherry Hill Township. Please be advised this meeting is being recorded and live streamed. All rise and please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I see board recognition on our agenda. Dr. Morton, do we have any board recognition this evening?
No, we do not.
And I see our student reps are here, but I don't think we're ready for student rep reports yet.
No,
we're
we are
looking
not.
forward to them. So I'm going to go to administrative presentations and turn it over to Dr. Morgan.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ms. Winters. Just really quickly, I just want to bring the board's attention and the community's attention to the final end of year quarterly goals update. This update itself summarizes the progress made on the 25-26 district goals throughout the entirety of this school year. The information is posted on the district's website. And if I can, for a moment, I'll just demonstrate where the information can be retrieved. So if you go to our main page, you go down and take a look at our district highlights. You'll see if you click here, it'll take you directly to the end of year update. Going through quickly here, the board has a hard copy of this update. Additionally, if you go through our district and click on strategic plan and scroll down, we'll see quarterly update number 4, June 23rd, listed here. You click through and that'll take you to the same link. Very appreciative of the efforts of our administrative team, our faculty, our staff, our teachers, and everyone else. The way our goals have been laid out, there are overarching goals themselves that are attached to our 2030 strategic plan, but then there are specific actions, strategies, and actions that have been designated, or key performance indicators as we've laid them out in the plan itself, that the team has moved forward in helping to accomplish. And we believe as those get accomplished, we move closer and closer to the accomplishment of our 5-year ultimate goal. So we'll go through a process very soon of creating our next year's goals as well for 26-27. All right, thank you.
Thank you. And believe it or not, July is time for goals. So those will be developed in committees as they were last year. So the board's preparing for that. I can't believe it's been a year already. Thank you so much for the goals updates. I think they were really helpful this year in understanding where we are. We are moving on to first public comment. There will be 2 opportunities for public comment this evening, and the first public comment session is for board action items only. If you wish to speak on any topic other than what appears on the agenda, you may speak during the second public comment section. Speakers must provide their names and municipalities. If you are a student, students may comment on any topic during first public comment by identifying themselves as a student. That's either in the room or online. If you put an S after your name, I'll be sure to call on you first. We alternate between speakers in the room and those wishing to comment online. Each speaker has 3 minutes to speak, and the timer on screen will indicate the amount of time remaining. All statements, questions, and comments should be addressed to the chair, and your inquiry may or may not be addressed by administration at the close of the session. Mr. Schimpf, can you please put up the 3-minute timer?
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay.
All right. You can give us your name and your municipality. Give us 1 second, Lila. We're going to make sure that everybody out there can hear you. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to make sure that your comment can be heard by everybody.
We'll restart.
Yeah. Lila, this is what happens when you go first. You get to be the experiment. So since I know you're talking about science and math requirements, I think maybe it's a little bit fitting, but also awful to you. So I do want to apologize that nobody tested the mic before you got up there. I'll add it to my list for next time. And then when we go back, I'm going to ask you to start all over again. I know it's annoying, but that way, because people listening online, if the microphone's not working, they can't hear anything you're saying. And that would be a bummer.
That work?
Okay.
Yay.
Is that good?
That is
Okay.
amazing. All right, round of applause. So, Mr. Schimpf, I'm going to ask you to give her the full 3 minutes. And Lila, if you would just indulge us by starting again, we would appreciate it.
Okay. Should I need to say my name and municipality again?
Go for it. Yep, full show.
Okay. Lila Neary, Cherry Hill. I know the conversations have come up about reviewing graduation requirements that aren't state requirements. I would like to ask you guys to review the physics requirement and maybe add an advanced biology class as an either or option. For some students, a physics class can be really challenging, especially students who have a math disability. Even though it's a science class, it's heavily math-based, and it can either make or break a student's GPA in their junior year. Other school districts do not have a physics requirement and have it as an optional class and have not sought to change that. I appreciate the desire for an additional year of science for students, but I think it would be great if they could have an option for which class. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm sorry for all the sound problems. We appreciate it. Going online, I see the first hand raised. It says Laura Einhorn. Please unmute and give us your name and municipality and the action item on which you are speaking. Are you unmuted? Because we can't hear you. Ms. Einhorn, could you try again to unmute? We'll see if we can hear you. We're not hearing you, so I'm going to go back to the room one more time, and maybe if you log off and log back on, sometimes that fixes the sound issue. So I'm going to go back to the room. Is there anybody who would like to do first public comment this evening on an action item? Please approach the microphone, give us your name, municipality, and the action item on which you are speaking.
Rick Short, Cherry Hill. Speaking on action item 13 and 13.6. I'm a little confused on, it says a resolution is requested approving the return of unexpected funds from capital reserve projects. So I do get that there was work done on the, the parking lot paving at Lewis. I mean, that number makes sense, $1,115 return. But what I don't get, and what I think we should all be asking, is the man vestibule, the Barton vestibule, and the black backflow. So you're returning back $964,918. and 914,112. Returning 502,341. So you're basically taking, again, I'm not, Mr. Schimpf should be able to answer this. I'm not an accounting expert, but it doesn't make any sense. Are you trying to take bond money and transfer it into capital reserves? Again, I'm just asking a question. Maybe the board members should be concerned about that question. And then the other one is the 5 million says 5 million to be available for such purpose transfer. Maybe a better clarification on that. And you're, I guess, over budget on man, I guess, and you're over budget on, I guess it was Barton, by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe that's another good question. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Going back online, I see Laura Einhorn. Please unmute. Let's see if we can hear you this time.
Yeah, Gina, there was no connection. That was the problem. So,
Okay, you're there now. We can hear you. Thanks so much for your patience.
all right. Ann Einhorn, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I'm speaking on 13.6 and 13.9, the movement of capital project budget monies and current surplus to capital reserve, which is about $7,448,680. So I would like to know if the 13.9 I read kind of funny. Is this a guaranteed statement that the board will be moving the 5 million into capital reserve? I don't read it that way for some reason. And if so, can anyone tell me that beginning the fiscal year July 1st, 2026, what will be our starting balance in the capital reserve? Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Ms. Einhorn. Going back to the room, is there anyone else who would like to make first public comment tonight on an action item? Seeing no one, I'm going back online. There's a phone number ending in 788. Please unmute and give us your name and municipality and the action item on which you are speaking. Dr. Potowitz, we can't hear you. Phone number ending in 788.
Okay,
Can we
I
hear
couldn't
you?
unmute. It didn't
Oh,
unmute, so
there you
you
are.
hear me, right? Okay.
Yes, now I can hear you.
13
Wait 1 second, Dr. Potowitz. Mr. Schimpf, can you please start at 3 minutes again?
Okay,
Sorry about that. Go ahead, Dr. Potowitz.
thank you. 13.6 and 13.9. Please vote no on it. 13.6, a resolution approving the return of unexpanded funds from the Capital Projects Fund to the Capital Reserve Fund in the amount of $2.4 million. Please read, everyone, please read it if you're listening. That's 13.6. At the last school board meeting, we were informed that the interest on the school bond fund totaled around $40 million. And that is, as of now, it's just going to increase. These funds will be used towards our capital reserve fund instead of putting them putting these funds onto the outstanding balance of bonds we still be selling, which will be $63 million that we haven't sold yet. So really, if we use that funds towards that $40 million towards this, what the amount it would be we would only have to sell 23 million. We would only have an additional $23 million in debt. But instead, we're putting all this 40 million into from the interest into capital reserve. So why are we sending 2.4 million to that? It makes no sense. As for 13.9, it gets even more interesting. Money from the general fund that could be directly used to educate our students up to $5 million will be transferred into the capital reserve fund. We were already putting, God, vote no. these $5 million in general funds can be directly put to our students' education. Directly. That's $5 million. You're shortage of money. What's the matter? That makes no sense. You will have $40 million from the bond interest, okay, that you're putting into capital reserve, plus another $2.4 million. That's $42.4 million put into capital reserve. That should be more enough. And if it isn't, what's going on? But really, that $5 million that's put to educate our kids directly is important and could be used instead of that. It makes no sense. Okay, you do enough projects. You have enough construction products and other projects. So please vote no on these two things. And you got $5 million, you're adding it when you're already going to have 40 to over $42 million that you're going to put into capital reserve. That's not enough. Please vote no, school board, and vote for the education of our kids, not more construction. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. All right, it makes no sense, especially since you're using the money, the accumulated bond interest money that we received. You're putting that towards capital reserve. And please stop that. Vote no. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Podowitz. Is there anyone else in the room who would like to make first public comment this evening on an action item? Seeing none, I'm looking back online. Is there anyone else online with a hand raised? I don't see anyone in the room. I don't see anyone online. So I'm going to close first public comment for tonight and move on to correspondence. Mr. Schimpf, has there been any correspondence received by you on behalf of the board?
None to report.
Excellent. And I'll move on to superintendent's report. Dr. Morton.
All right, thank you very much. We experienced a very strong close to the end of the school year. I want to thank the board, thank the community, thank everyone for their involvement and the activities that took place. We had a great move up ceremony at all of our preschool sites and elementary schools, beautiful middle school graduations. High school graduations were absolutely beautiful as well. We absolutely and definitely wish the best to the class of 2026 as they move on to their post-secondary futures. Reminder, it's never too early to begin summer reading. If you click on the academics page on our website, you can click on summer reading, the summer reading link, and that will take you to our summer reading landing page where all information regarding summer reading is available. And with that, I'd just like to wish everyone a happy and a safe summer.
Thank you. I have one child who has already started her summer reading. Another one will not start till August 30th. It is what it is. Does any board member have any old business for this evening? I see no old business, so we're going to move on to our action agenda. I'd like to make a motion to approve our May 2026 minutes. Do I have a second? Ms. Palmer? Any questions? Mr. Schimpf, please open the vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. On to curriculum and instruction, the superintendent recommends, and I move the following action items 12.1 through 12.6 as presented. Do I have a second? Ms. Manzano, any questions on CNI tonight? Mr. Schimpf, please open the vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Ms. Cummings, can you please move the BNF agenda this evening?
Sure. Superintendent recommends, and I move the following agenda items 13.2 through 13.9 as presented. Can I get a second? Mr. Fain, any questions? Ms. Winters.
Mr. Schimpf, can you please explain agenda items 13.6 and 13.9?
So agenda item 13.6, these are monies, these are not bond-related funds. These were monies taken from capital reserve in the past to fund prior year capital projects. These are the remaining balances on those projects that have now been completed. So as is customary at the end of each fiscal year, we simply close out those projects, transfer those unspent funds back to the capital reserve account in which they came from. The two large ones, well, I should say the three large ones, the Mann Security Vestibule and the Barton Security Vestibule were, from my understanding, were projects where capital reserve funds were dedicated for those vestibule improvements in the hopes of obtaining a grant. That grant was not received. So these funds have essentially been sitting in the capital projects fund. We're simply moving those back to capital reserve. The backflow preventers just came in substantially under budget. So that's the other large 502,000. So 13.9 is also school districts each year, only in the month of June or during the budget process, can dedicate transfers of surplus funds from the current fiscal year into the capital reserve account. So that 2.4 million you see in 13.6 is part of that up to the 5 million amount. So that the final amounts will not be known, final surplus amounts will not technically be known until the audit is finalized. So that's why the boards typically approve an up to not to exceed amount.
Thank you for the explanation.
Any other board members have questions?
Just add one more thing as well. The administration and the Board of Education has never said that we are taking the bond interest funds and depositing them to capital reserve. We have continuously said that no decisions on the use of those funds have been made. Just wanted to add that one piece.
Thank you. Mr. Fain, did you have a question?
Gina asked my question. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Mr. Braddock?
Mr. Schimpf, real quick, you mentioned that individual boards determine how much money can go back into capital reserve, and I see it's 5 million here for us. That's correct?
That's an
Up to 5 million?
estimate that I've put in place of a not to exceed amount.
Okay, I guess curious as to how we came to that not to exceed amount.
So that's based on the unspent funds in the capital projects fund, that 2.448 million, and what I'm anticipating lapsing in the form of surplus that we want to dedicate to capital reserve. This is all part of discussions we had during budget development to continue to try to get that capital reserve balance back up in order to continue assisting with the debt service payment each year, and also to continue tackling projects that were not included in the bond.
Okay.
So just keep in mind, it's very important. I'm a stringent believer in we will continue to, as long as funds exist, to continue getting funds into that capital reserve account to continue taking care of our buildings. So we don't place ourselves back in a situation 20, 30 years from now where we're asking the community to, to approve a $300-400 million referendum.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering where the additional 2.6 is for your estimation as to what we'll see moving forward. Thank you.
Any other board members? Mr. Schimpf, can you please open the voting?
We're going to have to do this one the old-fashioned way. There's a minor issue with the agenda. So we already had a motion and a second. Dr. Braddock?
Yes.
Ms. Sherfain?
Yes.
Ms. Cummings?
Yes.
Ms. Manzano?
Yes.
Ms. Palmer?
Yes.
Ms. Stern?
Yes, but I need to recuse on bill list 3. Yes to the rest.
Ms. Winters?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Ms. Stern, can you please move the HR agenda?
Mr. Schimpf wants to say something first.
So we just have a late addition to the agenda. We are going to add action item 14.12, which reads as follows. Resolved that the Cherry Hill Board of Education hereby ratifies the memorandum of agreement with the Cherry Hill Associated Supervisory Personnel dated as of June 23rd, 2026 for the contract period July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2030, and which is on file in the Office of the Director of Human Resources. And be it further resolved that the board authorizes its board president and its board secretary to execute an appropriate successor collective negotiations agreement upon finalization of same.
Thank you. Happy to be getting those done. Superintendent recommends, and I move the following as presented. 14.1 through 14.12 inclusive. Do I have a second? It will be Ms. Palmer. Why not? Are there any questions? Seeing none, Mr. Schimpf, is this going to be a roll call again? Okay.
No, this will be electronic. Sorry.
Oh,
This one
okay.
works.
All right.
Mr. Schimpf, question. Am I reading this differently in terms of the vote that was called on my screen? I have 14.1 on other motions. That's the only item that I see on my vote. Is that correct?
You should see 14.2 through 14.11.
I just see 14.11.
Try that again. Yeah. Check.
Looks good. Thank you.
Mr. Schimpf, I don't think, okay, never mind.
Just to clarify, all board members, do you see 14.2 through its 14.11 on your screen? And then Mr. Schimpf added an additional agenda item, just so everybody's clear on what we're voting on,
Not in
which is not on the screen, but which he read out loud.
correct, but it's
Inclusive.
not showing on the voting.
It's not going to show.
on the vote.
Correct.
All right.
Right. It'll be included in the minutes.
Do you want a separate vote on that item?
Maybe we should, just for total clarity for everybody. Is that okay?
I'd like to make a motion to divide the question. Is there a second? Ms. Sherfain, all those in favor? Motion to divide the question. First, we will vote online for action items 14.3 through 14.11 inclusive as moved, and then we will vote separately on. Got it.
Thank you, Robert's Rules
No
expert.
problem.
Madam President.
That's
rules
why you
expert.
hired me for this job.
Tripling your salary.
Also because Mr. Green's here, we need to put him through his paces.
Remember how tricky this was a couple months ago?
Yeah, now we've got it. So
got
Mr. Schimpf, can you please call the vote on action items we can do it electronically. 14.3 to 14.11, which was what Miriam moved.
Yes. And then
we'll do a voice vote on the additional action item.
That
Yes.
motion carries.
Awesome. So we did that.
So superintendent recommends, and I move the 14.12 as presented verbally.
Yep.
It's
Do you
presented.
have a second?
Do I have a second? Ms. Palmer again for the win. And are there any questions? Mr. Schimpf, please call that vote.
Dr. Braddock,
Yes.
Ms. Sherfain,
Yes.
Ms. Cummings,
Yes.
Ms. Manzano,
Yes.
Ms. Palmer,
Yes.
Ms. Stern,
Yes.
Ms. Winters.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That was a lot of work to get there, but we
Yes,
did it.
was.
And while we're here, I just would like to congratulate my children's gym teacher and health teacher and now assistant principal, Ms. Karp. We are thrilled.
First, I want to thank you, Dr. Morton, and the board for giving me this opportunity. I'm very excited. I also want to recognize all the administrators that I've worked for and with the last 12 years. I wouldn't really be anywhere without them and their guidance. So I'm really excited to continue in Cherry Hill, but also start this next chapter with the students of Rosa, with the parents, and all of our staff members. So I'm very excited moving forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Carbon. For those of you who don't know, she was the administrative intern at High School East this year, did a fantastic job. She was the one who got to show me around during Multicultural Day this year, which was a huge success, not in small part because of her organization of that event. So congratulations and thank you. And we look forward to so much success at Rosa. Moving on to P&L, Ms. Palmer.
The superintendent recommends, and I move the following action items 15.1 through 15.4 as presented. Can I have a second, please? Mr. Fain, are there any board member questions or comments? And for clarification, 15.2 is the HIBs that were discussed in executive session on June 9th. Okay, seeing none, Mr. Schimpf, can you open the vote?
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Schimpf. And I'm about to make your life even more complicated because we haven't done that enough tonight. And I want to apologize because it's entirely my error. I was supposed to recuse from the third bill list under BNF due to a conflict of interest with Rutgers. That is my fault for not calling that out at the moment. I do apologize. Moving on to governance. I don't believe we have any governance agenda items this evening. And so we are now on new business. Do any board members have new business tonight? See no new business. So we're going to move on to second public comment. Public comment is an opportunity for members of the community to provide input to the Board of Education on educational issues. The board welcomes diverse opinions on relevant matters. However, statements that are abusive, obscene, or which demeanor or defamatory to any individual or group of individuals will not be tolerated, as such comments are disruptive to the orderly operation of this meeting. Speakers wishing to provide the board with information which is not relevant to the district's operations may communicate directly with the superintendent and board president via email or other alternative means. Similar to first public comment, we'll alternate between in the room and online. I start in the room as we always do by custom. Is there anyone who would like to make second public comment this evening? Please approach the microphone.
Rick Short, Cherry Hill. Thank you for the clarification, Mr. Schimpf. I do have a second quite a questions, because what you just said means, and we just have to confirm the dates that this all happened, because this all occurred before you. So this would pretty much prove my theory that you might have actually doubled asked for money, because in the bond you asked for $230,000 for Horace Mann, and in the bond you asked for $348,000. So it'd be fascinating to know for Barton. It would be really fascinating to know when you actually asked or transferred these funds for the capital reserves, because that would mean really that you're asking the public one time for money from capital reserves. And what I think happened is you kind of double asked for money, but that's not cool. Moving on, I don't know if you heard our library, our Cherry Hill Library, which you guys network a lot with, totally blew the 250-year celebration of the U.S. What a pathetic celebration.
Mr. Short,
Yes.
The library does not fall under the jurisdiction of the Board of
I think
Education.
it does, Madam President.
No, it
you
does not.
constantly are at the library, you're
I
taking
am.
pictures
I
with
do
the
love
library, and you're there for the
However-
note. Yes. So why are you trying to interrupt me again?
However, the
And
library
again,
is under
again,
the
you keep
municipality.
interrupting me.
Sir,
Now I'm going to lose my time.
if you would let me finish, the
Are
library.
you going to give me the time back at 1 minute, 30 seconds?
I don't know. We can continue this conversation if
Okay.
you like. The library is not under the jurisdiction or authority of the Cherry Hill Board of Education. So it is not relevant for second public comment.
Okay.
Whether I attend the library in my personal life is irrelevant.
Okay. Are you going to give me back the minute and 30 seconds that I?
Do you have additional comments that are
Yes, I do.
under second public comment that you would like to
Yes.
speak about?
Can you give me a minute 30 again?
Mr. Schimpf, can you give Mr. Short a minute and 30 seconds to provide second public comment to the board on relevant items? We can do 2 minutes.
Oh. Okay. Okay. My next question is on January 8th in Ed Digest. Dr. Morton mentioned about this new, problem that's going on in our school. I didn't even know about it. It's called, I can't even say it. Obligine hijack, something to do with your brain and something to do with children just being overwhelmed. So I want to get to the exact statement. Okay. Sorry, I'm not prepared that well this time here. That's why you have to screenshot things. Okay. So, Dr. Morton mentioned that and I'm going to give you the exact quote. Sorry for this. And thanks for giving me the time back, Madam President. That was quite nice. Thank you.
I aim to please.
Anyway, there was a quote made, and I don't know if any of the school board members have even heard of this new thing. And I don't know, is there any new things taken action that within the district? How many children have had this happen to their head? It's I haven't really seen much in the news about it. Haven't seen any studies on it. Is this just a thing that's, I don't know, I'm concerned about the health and safety of our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Short. Going back to the line, we have a phone number ending in 788. Please unmute and give us your name and municipality.
My name is Jeffrey Potowitz. I live in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. First, 13.1 specifically states, all right, to deposit current year general fund unanticipated revenue and unexpended line item. It says specifically general fund. It doesn't say capital reserve money. It says general fund, which means you could use it for general fund purposes. That's not building, that's our students' education. I'm just reading what it says. Also, since we have close to $40 million in interest, that's interest we got from the bond money that was deposited, you had mentioned in a previous meeting that we're going to use that money basically like you would use capital reserve or in capital reserve. That was stated, and you were talking about, I don't know if it was overcrowding or something, or building new buildings. Whatever that was about, that money was going to be used, that $40 million. That was mentioned at a meeting. Otherwise, what are you doing with that $40 million? What should be stated is that money should be used in lieu of the $63 million total that we still have to do. And this way we wouldn't have to pay a penalty. So this way we wouldn't have the extra taxation. And also we would save interest costs. So if you're using the money for that, that's great. But no, it was mentioned that we're using that money for other construction. And that was mentioned, when in fact it should be used to save us funds, and it is not. So, yeah, I differ with you. It was mentioned specifically at a meeting when parents were concerned about something, and you mentioned, isn't we lucky we have this bond interest that we can use it? May not directly to capital reserve right away. So I think what you said, and I'm being honest, was a little bit misleading the public, because it was mentioned at another meeting. Or unless you just want to use the $40 million, that $40 million in bond interest, all right, and it's close to 40 without a penalty. If you use it in capital reserve or some other way, it's a penalty. Use that money that we don't have to pay $63 million total for bonds. It would only be, we don't have to issue that. We can issue 23 million. So I heard what you said at another meeting. I felt you were misleading. You feel I was. I'm sorry. But that's what I heard. Specifically, it was said to allay parents' concerns about something. And I remember it was in a meeting. Anyway, thank you very much. I should be nearing my time. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. But I didn't time this. But I think Yeah, I think we have enough construction going on in Cherry Hill.
Thank you, Dr.
Through the
Podowitz.
3 million worth. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Podowitz, for your comment. Going back to the room, is there anyone else who would like to make second public comment tonight? Please approach the microphone. Going back online, there's nobody in the room right now, right? Going back online, I see Alana Yaris. Please unmute and give us your name and municipality. You have 3 minutes.
Alana Yaris, Cherry Hill. I want to make sure that the board had time to read the motion that was read into the agenda that you voted on. The public didn't even know that they could speak on this motion because it wasn't in board docs. And I mean, I'm not in the room, but I'm sure it wasn't in the room if it was just read into the record for the meeting. So I just want to make sure that the board is doing their due diligence and reading all the things that are recommended to them by the superintendent and administration. And second, while looking up what the summer bond project works would be or work in general in the district, I scoured the district website and cannot find any presentations that Mr. Schimpf has made to the board on bond construction projects or construction projects in general around the district. So if those could be provided and an update on what the summer work is this summer is happening could be provided to the public in a place to find other than YouTube and watching previous meetings, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yaris. Going back to the room, is there anyone who'd like to make second public comment? Going back online, I now have Dr. Yoni Yaris. Go ahead, it's your turn.
Hi, thank you. Yoni Yaris, Cherry Hill. I'm not sure if members of the board are aware of this because many of you are relatively newer, but the community lost Mr. Tom Weaver last Thursday, who for 41 years was part of the incredible theater program at East. And we are currently going through the massive renovation that we all dreamed about. I know especially Mr. Weaver did, for seeing that space updated. And I think it'd be really wonderful if the family is okay with it for us to name part of that space, either the stage or the auditorium itself in his memory. District where I work, we did that for our longtime director who unfortunately passed away. I just think it'd be a great way for us to honor the memory of people who helped build the space and create such an incredible legacy from the time East opened up. And then even now, people who worked with him as students are now took over programs that he was a part of. So just a way for us to honor the past and plan for the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Yaris. Going back to the room, is there anyone who would like to make second public comment tonight? I don't see anyone. Going back online, I don't see any hands raised. Going once, going twice. All right, I'm going to close second public comment for tonight and do board member activities. Similar to public comment, board members will have 3 minutes, up to 3 minutes to talk about what they've been doing in the community. And I will start with Dr. Braddock.
I'm sure everybody's going to mention this, but I had the pleasure of attending the West graduation. Unfortunately, I missed the East graduation because of a personal commitment, but I'm not ashamed to say I got misty watching the West graduation and shaking the hands of all the students as they went by. It really was a moment to see these students so excited to move into their futures and watch some of them dance their way across the stage, and just it was such a fantastic day. And so I guess just it was congratulations to everybody who's graduated, who've moved up, but it was really special to see those West students graduate.
Thank you, Mr. Fain.
So I had the pleasure of also attending both East and West graduation and a preschool graduation last week, which was a fun span of generation there. Both were incredible and sad in a good way, but happy as well. I also attended the Kingston clap out, which was fun, and got to hear about all of the exciting things that the former Kingston students are going to be doing next year and beyond. And then also participated along with Ms. Palmer and Ms. Cummings in the agenda item that we voted on tonight that was added in the negotiations for CHASP. So I can assure
the public that we knew about what we were voting on tonight, and we agreed to add it as a secondary option. But I was able to participate in that as well as some of the other negotiations going on in the district.
Thank you. Ms. Manzano.
I, like my board colleagues, got to attend the West and East graduation. I want to send an extreme shout out to the 2026 graduates, their families, the teachers, faculty, and staff that got them there, and the Cherry Hill community, because getting to 12th grade is sometimes a pretty challenging thing. I also attended the West Scholarship Recognition Night with Ms. Cummings, and it was so amazing to see so many community members, so many scholarship winners, and to hear a little bit about the stories from where those scholarships come from. So congratulations to all of those West Scholarship recipients. And that's it for me.
Thank you. I got to attend the Rosa Middle School graduation, which was incredible. And I got choked up while they sang their alma mater, Maroon and Blue. I also was at the high school graduations, both West and East, and got the thrill of giving that speech and being the one to say that we were going to give them their diplomas. There's absolutely nothing like being up on stage and handing kids their diplomas. It is such a wonderful moment. So I want to thank all the graduates for allowing us to share in the joy of their special day, because it really is wonderful and moving. I also went to Kilmer to attend the first grade literacy heroes parade, which was nothing short of fantastic. They were all in superhero capes. And the reason that they got to parade was that they learned a ton of additional words to help with their sight reading. And it was really cool to join them in parading around the school and talk to their teachers about all the hard work these kids put in, and to see their classmates in other grades clap for them. I think it just is a testament to the amazing work that's being done on early literacy around the district. And then over the weekend, I got to be at the Juneteenth celebration. We walked in the parade with Dr. Morton, representatives from CHEA. It was a really cool day. It was wonderful to join with the mayor, town council, members of Camden County, and other dignitaries in celebrating a wonderful day of freedom for the community. So that was a lot of fun. Ms. Stern.
I did get to attend my last East and West graduations as a board member. So that was wonderful and exciting. I could be back for a performance, a repeat performance next year, but not likely as a board member, not as a current board member. But special day, very special day. Congratulations to all of the graduates and their families. It's always a very joyous day. I also got a chance to attend the Johnson 5th grade stepping up ceremony. I have the program. It's the first time I've gone to a stepping up ceremony that I did not need to use the program as a fan, because normally when we're in the APRs, this is what goes on. But instead, it was a packed house in our brand new, beautiful APR with our wonderful staff members whose children stepped up under Ms. Giordano's leadership. All of the 5th grade teachers got a chance to speak. It was a really impressive ceremony, and there was major celebration. I could not get over what a beautiful ceremony and in a fitting venue. So again, I thank the community again for supporting the bond work to make a day like that bright and joyous and temperature comfortable. And then the last thing I got to participate with as Miss Winters, Mr. Greenbaum, and Ms. Cummings was the Juneteenth parade. At a time where we're celebrating the inclusive and robustness of all of our history in this country. It's this very special year for that. It was particularly joyous to participate in recognition of a very important historical and population as part of our country, part of the fabric of who we are. So it's a great day, and hopefully I'll keep coming back. I won't be in the parade again, but I'll keep coming back. So that's it.
Thank you. Ms. Palmer.
I had the opportunity to attend the fifth grade moving up ceremony last week at Thomas Paine Elementary School, and then was back there the next day for the high school clap out, which, if you're not familiar with the tradition, is where graduating seniors go back to their elementary school one more time, do a little parade outside, do a little parade inside, reconnect with some of the teachers who are still there in their caps and gowns. Then I attended the Carusi Middle School graduation, which was beautiful. And of course, I was there for both high school graduations at the Leah Chorus Center. So thank you to everybody involved in making those ceremonies so special, and congratulations to everyone who graduated this year.
Ms. Cummings.
We've all been really busy this week, huh? So nice. So in addition to the other things mentioned by my colleagues, the scholarship recognition ceremony, the Juneteenth parade, I was also at the Sharp Elementary clap out, which, like Ms. Palmer said, it's just really, really special to see the graduates come full circle and visit back with their elementary school teachers. Lots of tears, lots of hugs, lots of laughing. It was great. It's one of my favorite things to attend every year. But then the next day the previous day I attended the fifth grade moving up ceremony at Sharp, where I attended both as a board member and as a parent to see my daughter move up to Beck. And then on the 17th, I attended the Beck Middle School graduation, both as a parent and as a board member. So that was really special to be on the stage and to see all the graduates and cheer my son on as he graduated out and is moving up into high school.
Wonderful. We were very busy. Moving on to superintendent's comments.
No comments this evening. Just like to say, have a great evening, everyone.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Ms. Cummings, all board members in favor? Wonderful. The meeting is adjourned. Have a great night, everyone.